Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is January 20th, and right now we are looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. We got Washington, Oregon here. Check out this low pressure center, bringing some gusty winds out across Northern California and eventually Southern Oregon. It's bringing some heavy rain with it as well. There's actually some flood advisories out with this. We'll dive into those details as we go through the video here today, but there's still some chilly air trapped across Western Oregon and some precipitation trying to move back over it. Not expecting too much more in the way of freezing rain, maybe a little bit of an additional glaze for those areas that are below freezing, but back across the gorge, eastern Washington, Oregon, it's much more difficult to scour that cold air out, and we could be bringing some additional icing amounts with that. And then we'll take a look at the extended forecast. Some of the models been showing some atmospheric river potential back into the Pacific Northwest, but models are still all over the place. And thank you very much for Evan, GWINN, for the super thanks yesterday. Of course, you don't have to do this, you guys, but this is very much appreciated. You guys make this channel possible. Now, taking a look at the NAM 3KM 2-meter temperature, again with that chilly air across Western Oregon and much more difficult to scour out. There's still an ice storm warning here across some of the gorge for accumulations up towards a half inch, maybe even more of ice. And across eastern Washington, Oregon, you see the temperature still sub-freezing out there. But watch what happens as we go on into tomorrow across the Willamette Valley. Look at some of these temperatures way up into the mid-50s here. That's going to make short work of the ice out there. So that's going to feel downright balmy there across Western Oregon as we go through Sunday afternoon. Very nice warm up incoming there. I mean, it's been so rough across Western Oregon. Just some extreme ice accumulations have occurred. And this is looking at accumulated freezing rain. So I'll back this up a little, and you can kind of see a little bit of a glaze maybe showing up this morning across some of the Willamette Valley. Should not amount to much. The bigger amounts are going to be across the gorge and on in through eastern Washington and eastern Oregon, where you could get up to another tenth of an inch, maybe some more for even some localized areas there as well. Now, looking at Seattle here, we are behind so far, probably on what we've been expecting here for precipitation-wise. We're already at the 20th here, 2.8 inches of rain. We've actually had some missing data, and some temperature data is coming in incomplete as well. It looks like they might have solved some of that, but yesterday hasn't come in yet as well. This is what I used to do in my past life here professionally for the National Weather Service. I observed weather and dealt with the ASOS systems out there as well. SeaTac, Boeing Field. I worked at Hillsboro, Oregon, Tonopah, Nevada, and Kansas City, Missouri. Now, taking a look here at the flood watch, coastal, Curry County, and Mount Shasta region. Check it out, Gold Beach, Brookings down there. We do have the flood watch ongoing. I might have said flood advisory. It is a flood watch right now. And you can see we're expecting some heavy rainfall out there, so heads up for that. Should be snow above mainly the higher terrain, of course, but still could get some flooding concerns. This is the freezing rain potential. You see it does include like Yakima, Wenatchee, Moses Lake, Chelan, all the way up towards Omak, Spokane, Pasco here. Generally around a tenth of an inch, but it does not take much to make for some very driving difficult conditions out there. And this is looking at eastern Oregon. They do talk about that potential for some freezing rain potential, and we're going to be working our way out of it here, but we still have to go through this transition where things are still sub-freezing east of the mountains. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, record all this crazy weather we get, this thing is just awesome. It even tells you the ambient light, the UV index, ultrasonic anemometer. It is an extremely amazing system for the price. I highly recommend this. And you can see it gives you real-time weather alerts if you want it. You set it up on your smartphone, tells you when it starts raining or when lightning occurs and how far away it was. Very fun. Click on that link down below to save 10%. Now looking at the GFS. So this is hot off the presses at 12Z. You can see that system here spreading precip back over the region. And we're going to continue to get some systems and some precip here. No exceptionally strong storms in the forecast right now, but this low is going to be a bit deeper and cast a frontal system across Pacific Northwest as we go through the midweek period. And then we have the chance for some atmospheric river potential as we go on into the extended forecast. I don't want to get caught up in that just yet because the models are all over the place, and the European doesn't show it right now as strong as what the GFS is showing. So we're going to continue to watch that as we go day by day. And some of the models are showing some active weather as we go towards the end of the month down towards California, and maybe not highlighting the Pacific Northwest so much, but the GFS doesn't fully agree with that, and it kind of keeps things active here through the extended for some of us here across Pacific Northwest. Again, something we're going to be revisiting daily to try to get some model agreement on. This is looking at the GFS. Here goes the system today. It's spreading some precipitation up across the area. So it's going to be kind of dreary out there. And precipitation continues all the way on through Monday morning for much of the region here. And you can see the next system is hot on its heels as well. Fairly deep low out here across the Gulf of Alaska, casting a frontal system. And you can see that's arriving basically very early Wednesday morning here in the Pacific Northwest. That continues the precipitation on. So pretty rainy period here. And it could be moderate at times, but we're not looking at extremely heavy amounts. However, you can kind of see the persistent nature of it. And then the GFS wants to start to bring some atmospheric river, and that would be kind of sinister here if the GFS does verify. But you got to remember, you're looking at over a week out into the future here. Purely fantasy at this point. Take it with a grain of salt, and the European is not in agreement with all of that. And we'll take a look at that here starting. Here goes our initial system, and just kind of showing you a pretty good agreement that we are going to be dealing with these systems off and on as we go through midweek. A little bit of a break here, and the European wants to keep things set back a little bit further to the west. Still has that atmospheric river signature out here, but shows it a little bit more for western BC, Vancouver Island, and then trying to trail down, but rapidly weakens there. And then you can see through the extended forecast, the European wants to get things kind of active going, and maybe more of an El Nino signature, where California gets kind of the brunt of that action here. We get kind of the leftovers across the Pacific Northwest. No promises on that just yet. We'll be breaking that down day by day. And you can see the Pacific North American oscillation kind of moving into that positive territory as we go towards the end of the month, which means the storm track is going to be out over the Pacific Ocean, more of a southwest flow into the west coast. And of course, if you're going out to the backcountry, check it out. You can see moderate in yellow. The considerable is the orange here. You can click on these individual locations, and you can get all kinds of great avalanche data out there. Now, looking at SNOTEL, we looked at this yesterday here, and this updates daily. You can see it's been updated today. Oregon doing pretty well here. You can see Lake County down there, maybe below average here, and some of the Blue Mountains out there, maybe a little below average. But a lot of Oregon is doing quite well, including the Willamette. And Idaho, not so much, especially northern portions here. Still have some work to do here. We are below normal as far as snow water equivalent is concerned. And Washington, we have some work to do as well, especially across the Olympics. And kind of surprising there, but we are only at 45% there of average. And a lot of the state, actually all of the state, is below average right now. And the same thing for western Montana as well. So hopefully we can continue to add to that snow water equivalent there across the higher terrain. This is average temperature departure from normal here as we go through January. You can see the 1st through the 19th, and you can kind of see that Arctic air mass that's been giving us some of this below average reading here across much of the area here. So that's so far for January, and percent of average precipitation actually kind of run a bit of a deficit here across some portions of Washington. Oregon doing quite well though so far this month, and kind of coming back here across some of Montana. Hopefully we can continue to bring some of that snow for the higher terrain and build up our snowpack. This is the drought monitor. I showed this yesterday, just showing it again. We are doing okay. You know, we've got some moderate drought out there, but we've definitely improved here over the last few months. So we have that to look forward to also. But anyway, yeah, I hope you guys are liking these videos. We're going to continue to watch that extended forecast because there is the potential for some atmospheric river activity here. And as you saw, we've got kind of a rainy period coming up here, but no, world-class storms moving in. So we just got to kind of watch to see how the precipitation piles up and what is next, and try to wait to get some of that model agreement on that atmospheric river off into the extended forecast. Is that going to target more western BC up towards southeast Alaska, or is that going to target more southwest BC and across Washington and Oregon? We'll just continue to break that down day by day. Hope you guys are liking these videos. Click like and subscribe. We'll do this again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.